Hey guys, this is Zach Mead here again. I wanted to take a moment and do a video and talk about our volunteer worship leader position that we hold here at North Church in our Creative Arts program. I want to talk a little bit about both the spiritual and leadership aspect of being a volunteer worship leader, but I also want to define some of the just practical things that we expect out of our worship leaders here at North Church. As a worship leader, you're not just singing songs, but you are a spiritual leader for the congregation. You are leading the prophetic flow of where we go on a Sunday morning through the songs and the set. You're coming up with arrangements that make sense. You're choosing the songs that flow and hopefully go somewhere. As a worship leader, you are hopefully thinking about where you are trying to lead the congregation. Where are you going with your worship set? You are leading people and you are an overseer of people. And that is a big, amazing responsibility as a volunteer. First, I wanted to go to the scriptures and see how the scriptures define leadership in the church. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, it says, "Whoever aspires to be an overseer desires a noble task. Now the overseer is to be above reproach, faithful to his wife, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not given to drunkenness, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own family well and see that his children obey him. He must do so in a manner worthy of full respect. If anyone does not know how to manage his own family, how can he take care of God's church? He must not be a recent convert, or he may become conceited and fall under the same judgment as the devil. He must also be of good reputation with outsiders, so that he will not fall into disgrace and into the devil's trap." There is so much to unpack in that scripture, and so many great parts about being a leader, and a challenge for us to desire to step up to that level. To be someone who doesn't love money, who is a tither to their church and a good steward of their money. Someone who manages their family well and loves their family and makes their family their first ministry in their life. There are so many other parts of that, being temperate and hospitable, and so many great pieces that we can aspire to as leaders. And we are not perfect people, and I know that most of us fall short, but this is a standard that we as worship leaders should really be aspiring and working hard towards. 1 Timothy chapter 3 can seem like a laundry list of things, but ultimately it should be fruit that is an overflow of our lives as Christians. It should be things that are just pouring out of us because we are working so hard to be like Jesus. All of that to say that being a worship leader here at North Church is so much more than talent. It's so much more than just having a really good vocal or being able to sing the specific song on pitch. Public ministry requires private devotion. It requires us to be devoted to God in our daily lives, in our daily walk. When we come on Sundays, it should be just an overflow of what God is doing in our lives. I want to take a moment now and talk about some of the practical things that we do here as worship leaders in our Creative Arts program at North Church. I want to talk about how we choose songs. I want to talk about how we run our rehearsals, and talk a little bit about the commitment that we hold as worship leaders. In our rehearsals, you'll find that the worship leader is the person who leads the band. They are thinking about where we are going. So they've crafted and created arrangements or songs that flow together. And so they are leading our band and ultimately going to lead our congregation, not just musically, but also thinking spiritually about where they are going and praying for what God might do on a Sunday morning. The worship leaders should be more prepared than the band. They should come having known where the movements of the songs are going, who is doing what on the band side of things. They should really come having been prayed and thought through very diligently each and every song. Another part of our rehearsals, which is one of the biggest and most important parts of our rehearsals, is what we call team time. And for us, that is a moment that is one of the big reasons why we do rehearsals midweek and we don't just show up on Sundays, rehearse before, and just hop on Sunday mornings. We love Thursday nights because it gives us the freedom to sit down and disciple our musicians and our band and our techs. It gives us moments to pour into each other spiritually. It gives us moments to pray for each other. So we always break up our rehearsals with team time. We insert it somewhere, and we're team building in those moments, or we're praying in those moments, or we're going to the scripture in those moments, and we're just pouring into each other in that time. Another important part of being a worship leader here at North Church is picking out songs. And this can be a really difficult part. For us, we could easily just pick out songs that we think are our favorite songs, or we sound the best on, or, for whatever reason we're picking these songs. But we really should be thinking through more than that. We should be thinking through the spiritual aspect as well, praying through, like I said, where are we going? Where do we feel God leading us for this Sunday? What is God doing in my heart this week that I want to be an overflow of what I'm going to lead on Sunday mornings? And so we hopefully are thinking through songs that way as we are choosing them as worship leaders. We should be leading a prophetic moment too sometimes. So we are praying, or we are exhorting the church, or we are doing something to lead more than just the music. So that sums up our volunteer worship leader role here at North Church. There are some other pieces too that I would love to define. If anyone has any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Zach@northchurch.net. Have a great day, guys.